guys, Eve here, and today we're actually doing a makeup rewind series. So if you're new to my channel and you've never seen me do this series before, the makeup rewind series is me looking at trends of the past decades and kind of turning it into a more wearable look for everyday, modern day, right now. So today we are actually looking at the 1910s, I never know what to call it, from 1910 to 1919. The style at the time wasn't really existent. In this time period that I'm looking at right now, mascara was invented, powder foundation was invented, and people used rouge, but that was pretty much it. When people think of makeup from this time period, a lot of the time they think of silent film stars, the movie star vamp look as it's dubbed now today. This is not that look. If you guys are interested in seeing that kind of look, let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to give it to you, but this is more of the everyday, what a woman of that time would wear. So if you guys want to see how I got this makeup look, go ahead and keep on watching. Let's go. Alright, so to start this off, I actually went ahead and I did my eyebrows and I primed my eyes just because those things didn't really exist, but I feel like I need them just to frame my face a little bit more and to make sure that my eyeshadow sticks since I am going to be wearing this makeup throughout the rest of the day. But to do some skin prep, because in this time period from 1910 to 1919, makeup wasn't really prevalent in everyday society. There wasn't really much going on. When it came to beauty, women spent most of their money on skincare, and so I did quite a bit of skin prep, more than I usually do on an everyday basis. I went ahead and I used my new Tarte Maracuja oil as a serum, and then I went in with my Alba Botanica Even Advanced moisturizer with an SPF 15. And then finally for my under eye, I grabbed my Tarte Maracuja C Brightener under eye treatment. Just because I'm going to wear this all day, I am going to go in with two different primers. I'm grabbing my NYX Angel Veil primer. I'm going to put that into my T-zone, and then I'm going to put my Cover FX mattifying primer with acne fighting treatment pretty much anywhere. Alright, so now that I feel a little bit more modern day ready, I'm going to let that primer sink into my skin, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the eyes. So like I said, I already primed my eyes. I used my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Fix, and then I set it with some eyeshadow powder that's similar to my skin tone. Today is going to actually be a pretty light natural eye look because they didn't really have eyeshadows or anything. In this time period is actually when the first mascara was ever produced, and it was produced by Maybelline. I am going to go ahead and grab my Wet n Wild All Natural palette, and I'm grabbing this Dusty Rose shade right here. So they did have sort of eyeshadows. It was actually like creams that they would make themselves, and they would tint them using different wax colors in the shades like browns and grays because that was what they had access to. So this Dusty Rose color, it looks a little bit more gray tone on the eye, and I'm just going to sweep it into my crease. I'm really not going to do too much like I said. Alright, and then using a fluffier brush, I'm grabbing this deeper sort of brown tone, just lightly going to shade the outer edges of my eyes with that. You don't want to go too overboard with this because in this time period, the only people that really wore makeup were movie stars and women of the night, I guess is the way to say that politely. Many women didn't really have these things, and if they did, it was homemade and it was just very, very lightly applied, and so that's kind of what we're going for today. Alright, now I'm taking that more bone colored shade, just going over the brow, and then with the fluffy brush still, I'm actually just going to go a little bit onto my inner third of my lid, and that's pretty much it for the eyes. Alright, so then for skin, they didn't have any sort of liquid foundation or anything like that. They did have powder. At the time, what was called pancake powder was invented, and that's like powdered foundation almost, but it's meant to make the skin look whiter rather than match your skin tone. I'm pretty pale already, so I'm not going to make myself whiter. I feel like that's difficult and also not necessary for today, but I'm not going to use any sort of foundation. I'm just going to spot conceal with my Tarte Shape Tape concealer and powder that down. For my people out there who have acne, do you ever wonder if you would have survived like colonial times? Because I always wonder if they would have claimed me as a witch and then I would have just gotten killed because I have acne. Because that's what they did to people with warts, which is upsetting. But hey, just blend it out with a beauty blender, any sponge that you have. This is my Real Techniques complexion sponge, and I call it a beauty blender even though I shouldn't. This is really turning into a no makeup look, isn't it? I'm also going to go underneath the eye and around the nose because I really want to even out my skin tone here because like I said, I am wearing this out for the rest of my day. now I'm going to set my under eyes with the RCMA No Color powder, just really lightly. I'm going to go over my smile lines a little bit as well. Alright, and then taking a kabuki brush, any sort of powder brush will do. I just like using this when I'm doing no makeup looks because I could push the powder into my skin like so. So I'm pushing it around the cheek because we are going to be applying blush. Actually, we're just going to push it all into my whole entire face. So the trend at this time was actually to make yourself look more pale because if you were outside and you had tan skin, that means that you were a laborer. However, I feel like I need a little bit of shape to my face, so I am going to go ahead and grab bronzer and just lightly put it underneath my cheekbones and on my forehead. So I'm using my bronzer that I'm trying to pan right now. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. If you guys haven't watched my panning videos, you definitely should. I'll leave a link in the eye right up here. One of the things that they did have and that a lot of people owned was rouge. Rouges back then came in little tiny pots and they used them for their cheeks and they put them on their forehead and a little bit on their nose, and they would also use it as like their lip color just to make their lips look a little bit more lightly bitten. I don't own any cream blushes and I'm definitely not about to put it on my forehead. However, I am going to go in with a peachier blush. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Party. I'm going to apply this really, really heavily onto the apples of my cheeks and up towards my temples because this is going to be the most color on my face. Do I look flushed yet? Actually, it's kind of pretty. What if I add more? Okay, I think that was a lot. I don't hate it though. What I am going to do, even though it's kind of against the rules, is I'm going to apply a little bit of a highlight. I'm grabbing my Physicians Formula Mineral Glow Pearl highlighter in the shade Translucent Pearl, which is actually like a pinky color. But this highlight just kind of applies a wash of shimmer. It looks super natural on the skin in my opinion. And then because I can't help it, we're just going to put a little bit on the inner corner of my eye and a little on the brow bone, just the tiniest amount. Like I said earlier, they used to use their rouge, like their cheek rouge, for their lips. This is the Tarte Rescue Lip Quench in the shade Shell. So it does have a teensy bit of color, but it's mostly just a lip balm. I'm just taking the shade Lovecraft by Kat Von D and using my lip brush, and I'm dabbing the color onto my lips, mixing it in with the lip quencher just to give it a little bit more of a color. Finally, we are going to go in with the mascara. So I'm going to curl my lashes first, and then I want to grab a defining mascara more than anything just because their mascaras back then were pretty new and it just darkened up the lashes. Didn't volumize or lengthen or anything like that. So I'm grabbing my Buxom Lash Mascara in the shade Black, just lightly coating my upper lashes with that. Alright guys, so this is the finished makeup look. It kind of turned into a natural everyday makeup look, you know, something that was really fast. It honestly took me only 20 minutes. Yeah, just looked at my clock. It only took me about 20 minutes to film the whole thing. But if you like this look and you like this series, hi Monty, he's jingling. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments down below and I'll be sure to do that for you. Make sure to check out my Twitter because I do host polls on there based on what you guys want to see and also on what decade you guys want me to do next. So go ahead and check that out. I'll leave that linked in the description box down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys. Do I think that's enough? Do I? Oh, the sunset is so pretty! Cupid's bow. I'm American. I don't know what's happening.